15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
All right, welcome back, everyone. Americans Talk FPL. Post-match, Inter Milan are in the finals against Sevilla. A big game. Brace Lukaku, brace Lautaro, D'Ambrosio with that second clutch goal. Jason, your thoughts on the game?
Yeah, Inter definitely deserved to go through. And I thought first half was a little closer. Shakhtar didn't really create anything. But Inter didn't look like runaway winners at that point. Didn't create a ton themselves. Then once they got their goal from pressing Shakhtar, Shakhtar just chased the game a little more in the second half, and then that's when Inter kind of just put them to the sword because Shakhtar could not break through, and Inter just kept pressing. And
100, 100%. That was the plan. Antonio Conte, Grande Conte, excellent strategy here today. He really condensed the match. He really played that solid Italian football with the three central backs, all world class. Diego Godin and Alessandro Bastoni, absolutely spectacular game from both of them. Obviously, De Vrij, best center back in Serie A this year. Overall, everyone in that three-back line did a perfect performance. Conte's tactics of really sitting back a little bit, having that defensive backbone against Shakhtar worked perfectly today. I felt that Shakhtar was coming in. They were known for having tight passing in the attack, especially with the four Brazilians. But really, they did not show that today with Inter's defense.
Yeah, I would say with their tight passing, they had tight passing. It just happened, well outside the box. They couldn't get it into the box.
Really, and in the second half, once the game was they were already down. Inter started pressing that a little more, and then maybe their forwards had great passing, but on the press and their defense, they really lost the ball tons of times, and Inter really stepped up and took advantage of that, right, with the goals.
Yeah, for sure. They pressed Shakhtar's keeper in defense quite often, and they just kept coughing it up, and Inter took full advantage and good finishing.
Yeah, really great games here. Finally, Lautaro Martinez finally is showing up. Really, he's had a difficult time ever since really the restart and the Barcelona rumors. He hasn't been what we would expect him to be for earlier this season we've seen from him. He is a youth player though, so they can be inconsistent at times. But in the big matches like the European nights, this guy really shows up. He did it against Barcelona, and he did it today too. What do you think?
Maybe with Barcelona getting blown out of the water not too long ago, he thought, man, maybe I am in a good situation, so he got settled just automatically from that.
Possibly. We don't know that there's a little bit of a gentleman's agreement between the clubs that transfer saga won't be talked on much until after the season is completed.
Okay.
Again, Nicolo Barella, probably Italy's best central midfielder, absolutely everywhere. Without Barella, this team is not the same. He provides the defensive coverage for the center backs, and he also provides those extra passes, those attacking passes, forward direct passes to the forwards. What do you think of Nicolo Barella today?
I think in the first half, I had him as the man of the match at that point.
Yeah.
Based on his pressing, bringing the ball from midfield to attack, and just clever balls over the top. Second half was kind of dominated by the forwards a little bit, and also the center backs showing up. So Not that he played poor or anything, but he didn't quite stand out as much with Lautaro really stepping up, Lukaku finishing a few off. And
Yeah.
as you mentioned, the center backs kind of dominating at will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm extremely pleased with our with Inter Milan's defense. I mean, when you had those three, and then you've got someone like a Skriniar, where 60 to 70 on your bench, it's really impressive stuff. Going forward, what do you think of Inter Milan in the finals? Do you fancy them?
I think it's going to be a close match. Like, Inter's not going to walk all over them like they did Shakhtar today. But predicting the winner is going to be tough here. Sevilla, since 2006, have won the Europa League 5 times. This is a competition they know how to win well. They have the DNA right now. Inter Milan, I know Kante has kind of had the reputation as he does well in the league, but in the cup competitions he tends to struggle a little bit. So I think this is his chance to kind of, I guess, step up and prove the critics wrong. So
Yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how that works out.
we'll see how that is. Interesting in the post match, Lukaku with a little mind games. He was saying that Sevilla was the favorite going into the final. Do you agree with him?
I don't know if I'd say favorite. It's going to be close, I think. Sevilla, they're a little more press resistant than Shakhtar are, so I don't know if that tactic's going to work quite as well. When they're midfield, they got Ever Banega, who's still a
Right.
class
Yeah.
midfielder even at age 32. Their
Obviously.
defense
Yeah.
is a lot better. They got Diego Carlos and Kunde are both very highly rated, and they have wing backs that I think can potentially provide a better attacking point against Inter than Shakhtar is trying to drive it to the center and getting stuffed every time.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. With this is gonna be, especially the center backs. Shakhtar center backs really was not in the same league as Inter's forwards at all. That was probably the biggest difference in the match in terms of getting up to that 5-0 score. We won't see the same with Sevilla. That Carlos is a very aggressive and highly touted center back. That matchup with him and Lukaku should be very interesting. Again, we know Ever Banega very well. Inter fans do. The man can ping the ball anywhere he wants. That's his specialty, and it's probably his greatest asset. And then with those wingbacks going forward, they've got good wingers too, Ocampos, and then the former Man City right winger. Now he's playing right back for them.
Jesus Navas.
Yeah, Jesus Navas.
He's been pretty good this year.
They definitely have players that can threaten Inter on the wings, which is something I do worry about with this three at the back. You're going to have to really rely on the midfielders helping out big time. Inter have been exposed by pacey wingbacks in the Champions League, specifically Hakimi, pretty much knocked out Inter from the Champions League. So that's something, Gagliardini and Nicolo Barella, they really need to help out the three CBs.
Yep, that's going to be key.
Another thing with Diego Godin, I mean, I just want to say Grande Godin coming back, he's in the best shape of his life right now. He talked a little bit in an interview about how he wasn't pleased with, being on the bench for Inter for so long. But if you look at him now in his condition as an endurance, he's really made that big changes to adjusting that three central back lineup, where I don't think I do have a great trust in Godin being able to handle those wingers with the help of his midfield. Anything else you want to think about in terms of the final? What do you think are some other key matches you're thinking about in this final player matchups?
I think the center midfield matchup is going to be very interesting. You have two very strong center midfields going at it. I think Inter might be happy to cede possession a little bit to Sevilla, and Sevilla, they're a pretty possession-based team. We saw against Wolves, they barely even lost the ball at all against them.
Right. So against
United,
Wolves, they were
they had a possession edge against United as well, despite United attacking them pretty hard.
Oh, interesting. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, not by a lot, but they did have the possession edge, despite United creating like double the chances.
Yeah. So overall, I mean, it's going to be a great Friday night game in Europe, Friday afternoon in the U.S. Give me your prediction, Jason.
If you're making me pick one, I'm gonna say Sevilla. They have the DNA. They've been here before. They know what they're doing. This is Banega's swan song with Sevilla. He's leaving after this year. I think he's going to go out on a high.
I didn't know. Banega's going where? To Argentina?
He hasn't announced his next team yet.
Oh, interesting.
But I've heard a lot of different theories. He could go to, I think Qatar is one country he was looking at. Possibly MLS. Like possibly
That'd be
Argentina.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know where he's going to go yet, but he's definitely going to be leaving Sevilla after the year.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have to say Sevilla does have European DNA. They've won 5 of 5 in terms of the Europa League finals. It's a little different, though, when you're coming up against this Inter Milan team. Their defense has been extremely impressive throughout the whole tournament. Lukaku has had 10 straight games of consecutive goals. And then Antonio Conte, I think Lopetegui, I do not rank him as the same level as Antonio Conte, who has, you do say he has had some struggles in Champions League, but we did see his run with Italy in the Euros. So, yes, there's some truth to what you're saying with Conte, but at the same time, he has proven his DNA as well. So it'll be interesting, but I think, overall, Conte will outclass Lopetegui. Lukaku is just too much. And probably about 2-0. I'll go Inter Milan in the finals. 2-0 is a good scoreline.
All right.
All right. I think that'll wrap it up for today's show, our episode, whatever you want to call it, reaction video. We'll be back with more. I think we'll be back next time with more Fantasy Premier League talk. By then, probably in a week or so, or maybe 5-6 days, something like that. We'll be back with who we're looking at, who we're scouting for defenders, who we're scouting midfielders, forwards, cheap options. Maybe we'll do a little basic how you should plan your FPL team. What do you think of this, Jason?
Yeah, I think once we get the fixture list out, it's going to help shape a lot of my opinions on who to take first. But for now, I definitely have my eyes on a few cheaper targets. Kind of getting this form of my team in my head right now. So I think we'll have some pretty good stuff to discuss.
Yeah, I've been thinking about it a little bit too. Just a quick question there, FPL question. Do you feel Mo Salah is essential this year, now that we're seeing people like Aubameyang in a midfield spot?
That's tough to say, because I think Salah, Mane, and Aubameyang are all midfielders at 12.0.
KDB.
KDB is at what, 11.5?
I'm not sure. I haven't been tracking that close.
Yeah. So I don't know if I'd say essential, but he's definitely on my radar as a very strong option to take.
So yeah, I think I'm going to have to downgrade him. Just a little thing for FPL thing right now is I'm saying Mo Salah this upcoming season. I downgrade him from essential to high up, like a high tier, but he's non-essential right now for me because of all the Aubameyangs moving to midfield. The midfield is packed with so many great players.
Yeah, I'm definitely thinking of going not cheap strikers necessarily, but like mid-priced. You got like Martial is gonna be 9. Jimenez, I think, was still reasonably priced. Same with Ings. So you got a lot of quality options kind of in that mid-range at strikers that can help you afford some of these nice mids.
All right, well that's enough FPL talk for now. Take care, guys. Best of luck with the preseason planning.
Yep, enjoy Europe while you can and get back into it.